Presented by Keizo.
Don't forget, Matthew. It's time to tip the scales. Wait, wrong game. Alright, so last minute achievement grinding says we have a couple of things left to do, such as master this weapon, which I can do through good old swordsmith here. And then we want to go get some water. Although at this point, I think maybe I save water for last, so, you know. Let's seal some techniques, shall we? This is gonna suck. I should have just bought more coins. Look how tedious this is. Why am I doing this to me? It's fine that I'm doing it to you, but why am I doing it to me? I have truly saved the best for last, haven't I? The most gripping gameplay we've ever seen. Right here it is. You've all waited patiently for it, and here I am synthesizing a coin with a scroll in order to make a different colored scroll. And then break the scroll. This is all that it's come down to. It's what it's all about. It's like the hokey pokey of ASTLIBRA. One more. And then we can go get some water. Alright, I don't even remember where all you can get water. I think Elysium had a water pool. Like up here or something. There it is. Large waterfall bottle. We did it. We have all the water bottles. Wait, what's on that anyway? Gradual recovery epic and adaptability in a bottle. Go figure. Am I out of bronze? Probably. And out of that, I'm out of everything. I've even found a board for this silly thing. Why not? Oh, I'm in DR territory because I unequipped my weapon to have the extra stat gains, that's why. This is fine. It looks worse than it is. It'll all work out eventually. Sure, why not? Many luck. No, thank you. That's one other thing we need to do before we take on the final boss for realsies. Gotta level all them gems. We are almost out of silver key molds. Mini magic, some stamina. All right, this is actually a really good one. Goblin King petrifies me every time. Oh, that's convenient. I guess I wasn't out of keys. Eh. So how close to level is this weapon anyway? Eh, about 3 bars, that's fine. We're not too bad. And having mastered this, we have apparently acquired a battery. Do the stats on this thing change any? Attack power 1506. So yeah, the stats on this change considerably. Alright, what does my battery do? When equipped, Muramasa will fire beams of white energy when swung. Interesting. Am I blind? Guys, I may be blind. Is it just a passive that's on the weapon then? Well, there's my beams. They are certainly doing some damage, that's for sure. But you know, I've took my god-slaying sword so far through the game. I would be remiss to not use it now, right? Such agility. Alright, I have to unequip you. For a one-hander, so we can redo our shield again. There we go. As far as board goes, you're a redundant regeneration. You give me a little bit of magic, a little bit of attack. Yeah, here's my summary of stats. I think it started out as like 777, so this is 500 HP, 67 attack, 32 magic things. That's okay. And this thing doesn't have its stats listed there because it doesn't have it by default, so we're giving up a non-zero amount of agility, move speed, and some baby stats. Oh, and my sustained enhancement, which is very important actually, so I can't get rid of you. I don't have the force achievement yet, right? So I still need to equip this. Let's check that and be sure. We are very close. I think it's 650k force, so just poking our head back in the dungeon will do it. There it is. Alright, so I can unequip my Force Emblem, which currently has also sustained enhancement, but this one's definitely free to get rid of. Kaiser Ring seems like a good candidate to bring with us, because we have additional attacks in the form of sword energy. The raw stat power on this thing could be comparable to this, just defensive versus offensive, right? I guess this is kind of like hybrid-y. But I'm not really guarding much anymore. As much as I enjoyed this thing, it's not as good as it once was. Technically, Lollipop doesn't do a ton for us. So I could replace this for an offensive thing in the end here. Not sure what I want to take though. Normal blunt type normal, or yeah, blunt type normal attacks, not normal type blunt attacks. I could go back to my precious hammer bullets here at the very end, but I have no boards on my hammer. I guess I got like 2 weird random boards. Increases the strength of all recovery effects. I could make my regen go through the roof. I guess I can just keep it. We've had it on all game. It can come to the end with us, why not? I mean, this is a consideration. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter. The boss summons ads, and then I guess we get something out of it, but I'm overthinking for something that really doesn't matter, as busted overpowered as we are. Oh yeah, we can buy more key. See what exists over here to the far right. Alright, I might have bought more keys than I needed. Well, that's what you call a worthwhile investment. I don't even care if I'm spending like 6K of something at this point, just give me those crystals. I can equip so many fun things now. No achievement? Am I missing some? I would not put it past me. I've got the remainder of 4. That doesn't seem correct. Surely it would just give me another full crystal at the end, right? Alright, what else do I want? I could change ultimate medicine into... Oh yeah, I don't need swordsmith, you're right. Yeah, I could change this into the other bad status thing. Eliminate good. Technically, a lot of these things are kind of good, but don't know how much we're gonna need those. I could just fire off free shurikens or something at the end. But what's the point? I finally have more points than I need. It's a crazy feeling. I guess I can do my level ups from here. Hey, buddy. Let's enhance some gems, shall we? I definitely need all of these stats. Trust me. Oh, that's not the right one. This is the one I want. Alright, what does that even do? I don't remember. I just remember it's something else that does like bad status synergy. Magic power and agility are increased. Yes, I do want that. And I got 5 points left over that I can do something with. Could do this in sub-weapon, I guess. I don't think I ever used Grand Slash. Maybe I should have. I have so much agility that I might not need fine-tuning. Yeah, this thing only weighs 62. Granted, I could just remove agility that I have invested in my points and spend it in magic or something, so maybe I do want that. That's effectively an ability that says, hey, do you want like 50 free magic or whatever? Alright, so 111 is as high as our DRs go. What's my gross weight at now? 7. Alright, we can go up to around 30, I would say. 39, that's probably still fine. There, 31, definitely fine. Yeah, I think I went the entire game without ever putting a point into adaptability. Except by accident. We did use luck for a long time, though. And honestly, I don't need this defense. Well, first I'm going to enhance my gems, and then we'll see about doing any of the other stuff. Haha, funny number. What a waste of resources, but I love it. I'm gonna have the dumbest buffs on the planet, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop me. Okay. Sure. I guess I can change the DRs. There. Guess I could do more agility too, so I could take agility out of my points and put into magic. I mean, it would be nice if I could get to 1,000 magic, wouldn't it? I guess I can upgrade the magic gem too. I'm not putting 33 levels into it though, that's crazy. How many points is it per anyway? Okay, it's 5 per level. Magic power 1002. Good enough. And now I can start sinking stuff into equipment, I guess. Look at all these silly materials we haven't seen in a long time. It makes it less heavy. I could have improved my weight situation so long ago. Back when I was actually having trouble. That's wild. Want 25 full resistance, don't ask me why. It just made me feel better. There, now I'm happy. Oh, this would have been a much better way to get magic power. Sure. 1082, what a number. Forty-eight 36 attack power before the buffs. I guess my magic power didn't increase as much as I thought it did. Thought it should have been like it was 1002, then I got a bunch of points increased. I guess I only added like 20. It was already like base 60 or something, so I just can't do math. Should do. Yep. They're all somewhere. Gross weight 66 again, though. How did that happen? Is making the sword... Do you make the sword heavier when you upgrade it, then? And then the other stuff gets lighter when you upgrade it. I mean, I can fix this. I have weight reduction gem. Then what changed? I was like gross weight 30, right? Oh, was I? Fair. Well, I can fix this. 66. It's not as good as I thought it was, but it's something. There, 45, it'll do. What else do I want to do at this point? It changed. It went down a little bit. See, it's here. It just didn't go down by the number that I increased it by. Oh, so I need to move it from the shield. Sword has an open one, right? Because I already have the thing that removes the shield weight. So you have an open slot. Now gross weight is 0 again, okay. And now exactly 20, so I was on exactly 0. That's cool. But 20 is definitely, like, perfectly fine. I am more than happy with 20. I guess the last stuff left to consider is, like, do I want to do some last second scale nonsense? If I can find some white stats that I want to make into blue stats. Hey, the blorb is actually good for something at the end of the game. Nice. A lot of this in-game loot has a red and a blue. It's like they knew. I don't think any of this matters at all, honestly. I think we're fine. I guess there's the matter of who's coming with. Hi, I'm your long-lost brother. It's me. I mean, Gal's been our ride or die all game, right? Maybe he should come along. I guess there's one thing I can do. Those are some wild stats. $7,200 attack power is something else. It's just nutty. There's no getting around it. It is absolutely nutty. So did you complete the entire grow grid? Because, unless I sandbag quite a bit, I am not going to be able to spell the word revision. How did you manage that? Like, I have grinded a lot, right? And I'm still not really close. I guess if you had 30% more force for longer, it would make sense, but, yeah. I kind of want to get to 15k HP, just out of sheer spite at this point. But I can do that with gem instead of this if I wanted to. I guess there's these that are cheap. Cheap, he says. Okay, that's very overpriced. There's one that I can grab. We're close. I guess I can do the... Is there another one that's here that's like affordable? Right here, kinda. So I have to pay 3x twice, which still might be cheaper than what's down there, honestly. There, 15k. How much does my region tick for? 800 plus per. That is insane. Alright, are there any other achievements left that I need to get other than the run into a wall for hours achievement that I'm not going to subject anyone to? I will do that off stream. Am I all set to go? Let me take a look at Steam. See if I can see anything. $50,000 steps, 15,000 enemies. I still don't have that yet. How close am I to 15,000 enemies? How have I not killed 15,000 enemies? It doesn't make any sense. Steps 32. Yeah, I have a lot of stepping to do. I'm not even 2/3 of the way to getting all my steps. Enemies defeated. Yeah, I still need to defeat 1,000. Did you also have to go back for this, or did you have this one well in hand before the end of the game? I'm kind of surprised that I killed so many fewer enemies and ended up with so much, like, less stats, force and stuff. I can't make a better healing potion, right? Yeah, those fruits are as good as they get, but you're fast, so like 15 of you just in case I need fast heal. And then we need to put you here. And you here. I'm going to poison myself on purpose, and it's going to be great. So who did you take to the end of the game with you? Kai, Gao, Shiro, Kuro, Poland the good boy. Who was your partner in crime? Do they say anything? Could I see some different lines than you? Because, like, now the contrarian enemy's like, well, she took Gao, I need to take somebody else. Let's take the tsundere. Arrived at the lowest level of the abyss. Achievement got. Oh, what a convenient save. The point of no return. Maybe there's 1,000 enemies in here for me to kill. Wouldn't that be something? Well, I lost my mage. Well, I guess my choice didn't matter after all, up until it does at some point, hopefully. Also, my mouse is on screen. Let's fix that. Welcome to Noah, the Ark. It's the guy. He's the Ark. Of course. Noah didn't make an Ark. He is the Ark. All those 2x2 animals rode him personally. Go ahead and snooze ad. That's a long time. Are we gonna launch a rocket? Where's your friend? I'll break him too. I gotta play whack-a-mole. Stronger than a spaceship defeated Noah. Nope, never heard of ASTLIBRA in my entire life. We've been forged. That's what we've been doing the entire time. We are the Fremen. I mean, what else am I gonna do with all these stats? Put something in front of me and I will bonk it. Let's go to the moon. I bonked 2 big red buttons and now we can go into orbit. As one does. Alright, I'm going to assume the end of the game is going to take more than my 2 snoozes, so I should go ahead and just run the ads now. Bad place for interruption, should have done it before we even ventured into this place, but better here than later, when I can't do anything about it. So I'll take 3 and be back then. See you soon. Okay, we are back. Karen is still seeing what happened. I'll tell you, buddy, an ad break. I don't like them either. Let's go smack a satellite. I appreciate a breathable atmosphere, but as far as gravity goes, I could take it or leave it. I've got that one skill I can always do. It's a flickering, translucent platform, my favorite. It's a hallmark of a good journey. You go from a small hut to confronting some sort of god. But we've been fighting what we thought were gods for the entire game already, so... Our crow is ride or die. It's a UFO! And it's making it rain! Sure, what's one more level for the road? I think I may be over DR cap right now. Yeah, I'm getting one stat. Here, we'll make it a nice even number. I thought I calced out my DRs though. No, we're gonna get smooched by some hot space ladies. That all of the chaos is growing from, I guess. Let's do this for the salvation of the world and for waifus everywhere. Vomit blood? Gross. Oh yeah, I was supposed to poison myself and then I forgot to. No, we got poison now, it's fine. That's one dead. The amount of damage we pump out is stupid. Stronger than chaos. Defeated the one controlling the population. Can I fight the crystal too? Hey buddy, I was wondering when you were gonna pop up again. You've been meddling too much to leave things be. Well, she put on her earrings. When you walk over one, a corresponding companion will attack. I mean, do I even need them, or can I just bonk the guy to death? Yeah, I've got a cool cut in. Look how much damage she does! What the fuck? Oh, but wait, there's more. We're fighting a cleavage boss. We had a crotch boss. We deserved this the entire time. We just didn't know it. Oh yeah, I need to poison myself again. Now we're doing damage. There, I disarmed her. She's only cleavage now. Look how much duration my buffs still have left. This is crazy. Here, just do the screen attack. 8k a hit. Nice. Anything over here fun? Let's just go on a little adventure, shall we? I'm gonna toy with the final boss. Alright, I guess we'll nestle into the cleavage and end the fight. As one does. Stronger than Creator God. Defeated the Lord Elijah Anguel. I mean, if New Guy's Lord was that hot, can't blame him. I would have done the same. Alright, we got some real credits this time. We are descending really fast. He translocated us and died. He wanted to free his lord as his last act. I mean, I get it, but it's always a little sad when you write a character just to kill them at the end. When you could have, like, the consequences of him having done what he did, and then what does he do now? If there are other planets with the whole chaos thing, was it all from that guy, or from that lady? Are there more messes to clean up? Is everything fine? I feel like you could explore that instead of just having character die, maybe. But it doesn't matter. The story's not about new guy. No one realized that all humankind had been on the brink of extinction. Classic Japanese RPG plot. How many games are there where just the everyday populace just doesn't have a clue that there are heroes fighting for everyone's survival? Classic. This ordinary day life. I don't want to protect that, it can burn. I should have equipped some silly gear for the end of the game here, if I'd known I was walking around with my gear still out. We're landing. Alright, the other ones are also landing too, so all the mess is cleaned up. Of course they're squabbling over territory. How very human of them. Hey, I've got some agency. I can equip some silly gear here at the end. Oh wait, I can't. I can't open the menu. Alright, we had the reverse order of that conversation. We got the proper one the second time. Anyone hiding over here? One last tree destruction. It's okay, they grow back quick. I could still do equipment at the end, sure. Listen, buddy, I was trying to show that I hadn't forgotten you, but clearly I should have. What an astute child. No crystal, I can't leave. This world isn't very big after all. Hi, do you also just sell me items? You sure do. I guess I should have come here last. I could have went to the arena and talked to the bartender. Don't worry, just casual nap time for everybody. Hey, it's this guy. He's back. Listen, brother, I could probably one-shot you. You may not want to mess with me. If you die in the dream, you die in real life. Anime edition. I can tank that. It's fine. Poke. Say no more. We mad. You ain't doing shit, bro. Do I have... I can't check my menu. I was gonna see if the anger thing gave me like a stab buff or something. Well, certainly whooped that guy. One last boss fight for the road. I mean, I assume last. Maybe there's more. They can pack so many more into the ending, it's fine. I gave birth to an orb and the orb saved her. Was it the last love in my inventory? Was that what did it? Best ribbon in gaming. Move over, Final Fantasy status prevention ribbon. So where does the not true ending end there? Like when you fall asleep? Okay, when she's just lying there, we don't res her. That makes sense. Yeah, there's no point seeing the not true ending then. And Karen getting snubbed once again. We got 3 men in this party. No one's more manly than my bird. The earrings have come into play once again. And once again, Gal can grope himself. Everybody knows. Worst kept secret in ASTLIBRA. We're going to teach her about drag today. Nice. Achievement get? Setting off. Your adventure starts now. Yeah, I guess we could poke around at the demo. How long is it? Not very, as in like half an hour, or shorter than that, or what? Alright, that seems good. Alright, Kai gonna show up here? He left that girl alone. He never breaks a promise. Sometimes he just gets broken himself. Also, in the fourth row, that guy has a knight helmet on. That's pretty sick. Is his name Kai? Sure is. He's a hard-nosed robot that's lived for around 2,000 years, all so he could keep his promise of a girl. Achievement get Overdog. Completed the game at difficulty level difficult or higher. Do I want to save? Sure. Put it in slot 2. Well, is there anything you want me to ramble about in regards to the game? Get my thoughts on anything? Well, we still got a little more actually, so hold off, I bet, I suppose. Well, we've been killing an extra god, apparently. It's not so much that we've killed all Camise and Beatrice and friends, we've been killing her, too. Speaking of costs, he is really good at using that translocation magic without really having any negative effects. He's like 200 years old. He's not been shaving life off himself. It's like he's been getting life every time he uses it instead. This mode is for demonstration only. Look how weak we are. Oh, I'm so slow. Okay, I have some other equipment. I just have basic ones. Teeny tiny guard gauge. Hey, it's these guys that I've been fighting. See the illusion? Hey, it's the same wings, it's the same boss, it's the same guy. Are there any of these that I would want to... Okay, I can switch to this, apparently. ST consumed 230, wow. I haven't seen the alternate versions of a lot of these. Time appears to be on my side. You ain't wrong. We got ourselves a Melu. Can't jump in the water though. He sure did give us a lot, huh? I can have my hammer. Well, then I have to, right? We'll use a two-handed hammer for old time's sake. Yeah, I can't change any of my skills yet either. Wow, item use is so slow without a million levels of use speed. Alright, you can get up here. Yay, a wooden bow. I'm so happy. I am amused they put those annoying bugs at the start of the demo. That's kind of funny. I don't know if I can hit that without the crossbow, actually. Can't remember what the arc is on this thing. There we go. I got a crystal. It has been a while. You finally embarked on a new journey. I did do that at the end of my save file. Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. I can buy some fancy stuff, apparently. Well, I like my hammer bullet, so... But I mean, this is twice as strong. Hard to say no to twice as strong. Okay, you're still a two-hander, that's fine. Gross weight 0, we're totally fine on that too. Got some ice cream. Didn't think you'd be back. Not sure if the demo's always like this, or if things have changed because I'm playing it after having a save file. Alright, you can't drop down here. To your own time, to your own future. Oh, they're already on the panel. It's so slow. Oh no. We've got a mellow to save. Or to not save. Depending on how much of a downer the demo wants to be. Oh, I didn't get my treasure. I was too quick. It should have led further into the cave. Something's going on. Wow, you're getting a real grab bag of enemies here. Well, we're back in the cave. And there's a gal in here. Can't interact with this at all. What do I think they put in it? Oh, you get a bunch of your scrolls too. I should have checked for those. Rather late. I am playing the demo rather late. It's almost like this place is operating on dream logic. Hey, we can grow. I didn't use one of those the entire game. Definitely some dream logic, or nightmare logic. Yep, we are falling into the dream. Geist is definitely having his way. I'm not a novice. I've already asked it all the Libras. We fell into outer space. He's back with his nightmare wings. What if I don't, though? I mean, to be fair, that's how our boss fights were going at the end of the game, too. So, you know. The demo is consistent. Don't worry, Karen, it will. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would have felt about the demo if I'd played it before the game. Because it definitely plays with some set pieces that you see later, but it does it in different ways. But I can definitely see how someone would have played that demo and just been waiting for Melu and Gal to die. Even though it happens very differently and you can fix it and all that good stuff. See, I have no qualms about the way that we did things. Skipping the demo, just jumping straight in was completely fine. It's probably a little freeing not having that expectation going into the game. But yeah, as far as like overall thoughts on everything, once the intro is over, we can start going into some of that stuff. And that shot there at the end is from our ending, apparently. Didn't get to piece that together until now. And all the friends we made along the way. And some frenemies, I guess. I like how that's a very similar scene to the, like, thank you for playing in Astrea statue for the actual ending. That's cute.
Presented by Keizo.
Well, yeah, any thoughts in particular you would like to ask me about? Opinions on any characters, how the game did certain things? Any thoughts on plot? Or should I just ramble about whatever comes to mind? Well, my big criticism early was like, oh, the Sage is so dumb, he's the worst teacher ever. At least he kind of had a plan. So, like, my critique of Charon the Sage, not Charon the bird, isn't as intense as it would have been otherwise, but he's still an awful teacher. That whole plot angle of, like, let's make these students vie against one another. Make one be rejected, blah blah blah. Like, that was still just dumb. And at the end of the game, Shiro could just use the translocation magic anyway. So that removed, like, that entire plot point. Like, she just chased after the Sage by tracking his energy or whatever, and she was able to teleport too. So, like, why was she playing with volcanoes in the first place? I still don't like that. But she as a character is entertaining. I like her. I like Gao. I like Kuro a little less, but that's just because I'm not so inclined to like characters that are like, oh, dear hero, you're the greatest. I will follow you forever. I want more friction than that in my interactions with other characters, but she's fine. There's nothing wrong with her. I mean, if that was the case, it would be nice if the game had went down that direction in explaining it, right? But it just doesn't. You're left to make your own interpretation or just choose to believe that he's terrible. And they frame him as being like this genius sage man who's like all-knowing and has like the ability to do so much. And yet, in practice, with some of the decisions he makes that sets these characters on these paths, he's incompetent. So that's not consistent with how the game wants you to see him. So that's my actual like criticism of that. Like, it would be fine to have an incompetent teacher. That's a fine idea for a character. Plenty of teachers are incompetent, but don't frame him as a genius if he's going to be an idiot. I mean, I enjoyed Gao from start to finish. He's a very good secondary character. He's got a lot of comedic moments. He's got some nice serious moments. He is your ride or die, even when he kind of like quote unquote betrays you and takes the scales. Like, he's not trying to do something sinister or malevolent. He's just overtaken by this idea that he can fix things. And the second you show up, he's like, here, take him. I messed up. Help me. He's just a good dude. Who else? I really like our bird, obviously. I am ride or die for that bird. I do appreciate how there was the whole red herring, like, oh, your childhood friend, Anulus. Like, she's the black wings, the crow's black wings. Obviously, she's the crow. And then they did something else with it. And that was, like, it was foreshadowed fine because you have the whole, like, Nushi is Poland revelation very early on in the first chapter. So you've seen that demons can be reincarnated as other, like, teeny tiny small cute creatures. That's fine. And having this demon that was, like, your arch nemesis who took everything from you, who's also the one who gives you everything in the next life. There's some poetry there. I think that's fine. And he's certainly your best friend. Like, he and Gao, I guess, but mostly Karen by the end. You get really attached to him when you have to choose between, like, oh, if we do this, then Karen won't be here. Like, that's a nice, impactful moment. And then I was, like, yelling at the screen, like, I'm not leaving my bird behind. I'll find a way to fix it. That's my boy. As far as, like, Karen's skills go, holy shit, there are a lot of variety in the possession skills and the, like, passive equip skills. The actual ones that are called the Karen skills. But, like, they did such a good job on the possession skills where as you get things throughout the game and your general progression, everything's nice. If you like something that's lower tier, it's still valuable. You can still get a lot of use out of all these things. And that's very difficult to do. Obviously, like, the way that I played, I got very stuck on the buffs, and the buffs are absolutely broken at the end of the game. But, like, as we saw with the War God thing there, not the War God, the other one, the purple meteor whatever skill, like, these things are very strong too. Each one of those hits that hits the entire damn screen was doing like 8k damage. That's pretty nuts. So a boss will take like over 100k from just one of those possession skills at that point. So even if you don't build into like Berserk and Stealth and all those skills, like, you can still get absolutely monstrous damage out of the in-game regular possession skills. And I think, like, the order they're introduced to you makes them feel good too. Like there's a point in the game where like assassin like is completely underwhelming, but when you get assassin, like it's very good for the way that the enemies line up. Doing this sweeping motion like low across the floor is very good for that area. It does a lot of damage for that point in the game. You just wouldn't use it at the end when you're fighting the super bosses and stuff. So everything about Charon good. We had like builds that we loved throughout the early game, like Gunhammer made me prioritize hammers so much, whereas a lot of people probably didn't do that. I think the default notion for most people is going to be like, hey, give me a sword. Or give me like one of these really fast attacking daggers so I can generate stamina faster to get more possession skills or whatever. But the gun bullets were absolutely insane, and I relied on them through so much of the early and mid game. And then at the end we found other stuff that was just as good, if not better. And every time you got the crystals to get more skills, it felt great. I guess there's the whole thing, like some of the equipment that you get gives you skills and some of it gives you the crystals. I still don't like the whole like, okay, you mastered this equipment, you got a crystal. It would have been nicer if every piece of equipment had a skill. And if you got the crystals some other way. I think I like proposed before that since all the accessories don't really have skills, you could put all the crystals on the accessories. So you have like some more incentive to use like all the different accessories too. But obviously if they took the crystals off the weapons and shields and such, they would have to put more skills in, and there's already so many as it is. So maybe you could still have weapons that don't have skills but had something else, I guess. I don't know. I'm not so sure that it's the fact that some of the weapons had skills and some had crystals. I think it's because I just didn't know what I was going to get. So if I was hoping to get a cool new skill and I got a crystal, that was the disappointment. But I think if I had known from the start, all right, these are crystal weapons, these are skill weapons, or had known what skill I was going to get, then it wouldn't have been so disappointing, and maybe I would have been more on board. Because like sometimes you just need to grind out the fundamentals. You get the weapons and the skills, you get get the ones with the crystals, you get more crystals for your skills, it's fine. But opening up your Christmas present and getting coal doesn't feel so great. Let's see, I didn't go through all the characters, I guess. The game doesn't spend enough time on Poland to have him like show up and be a guild member at the end and have that feel as significant, I guess, as some of the other characters. Also, I let ads play like an idiot. But it seems like there's also some plot holes in the whole like Poland angle too, when we get to have both grandson and Poland. But there's a lot if you stop and think about it. So Gaiden, how long was it between the actual main game and Gaiden? Did the dev know that he was going to put an entire secondary mode where Poland was at the forefront? And that's why it's like, hey, he definitely deserves this spot in the guild at the end. I already know all these things that I'm going to write in the Gaiden chapter. So to him, it didn't feel weird, whereas to some players, maybe it might have. Original Gaiden came out before original ASTLIBRA. That would... I know like this is the revision version, but I don't know how much is added to revision. So at what point are we playing content that was added for revision, I guess? Is the entire postscript from revision, or... was postscript in the original too. But other than like little nitpicks and plot holes that you can point out with like this doesn't make sense anymore, and by doing this we've hopped into a timeline where we never had to do whatever. Look at all these parallel universes we've done, but things work out and it's perfect. Blah blah blah. Putting all that aside, because we're not here to nitpick that, the actual postscript save everyone speedrun is very nice. It feels very satisfying. Because the entire game, the entire main game, the player is just like, I want to fix everything. The game's saying I can't do it. Like, here's the cost of what I did. I do this, someone dies. Just like the whole intro sequence, right? When you save the soul of one, you destroy the fate of another. Will you change this balance, or will you cast your eyes aside? Like all that good stuff. So by the end, when you're in postscript and you're like, no, I'm just saving everyone this time. Watch out. We're doing it live. It feels earned, first of all, which is very important. If you could just do that from the start, it would not feel nearly as good. And you just do it. You rampage through the game. You don't even have to go and do your puzzles and all the dungeons. They're still solved because the magic of post-game. Then you just save everyone the speedrun. It's great. So it feels rewarding and it feels earned, and it's very important that it's both of those things. The only critique I have about postscript is the social links, like whatever you want to call them there at the end. Like, okay, we go and we fight enemies in the dungeon, you give me love, I give the love to Anulus, to Lilica. And your scenes with them are like 2 lines, they don't do anything. And I know that at this point, like, it's not their story. It's the story of how our main character saves Anulus, heals Lilica into being a functional person again. The emphasis is where it should be, but it still feels like those scenes could have had more content to them, or they could have changed something. But that's less like, oh, this is bad because of that. It's more that it's just, it would have been nice if you had had that. Because those are characters that you've come to be attached to over the course of like 2 lives at this point, right? So you want them to have like another moment to shine at the end. Even Kai. But especially Shiro, Kuro, and Gao. Like, they definitely deserve to have one more moment. Which I guess in that final boss fight where you can trigger the runes and make the characters do the fancy attacks, that's one more moment to shine, but I would have wanted some story and some dialogue for him too, because I'm greedy like that. Also, it would have been really nice if I could have done more of those attacks, but I think their stats scale based on my stats, and Shiro absolutely melted that boss. He was doing like 22k a hit to it and just completely destroyed its health bar. I only got to do 1 of those attacks. I'm assuming since there's 5 of them, like, they're supposed to, quote unquote, do like maybe a 5th or something. But no, she hogged all the action for herself, which I guess is kind of appropriate, right? Let's see. I don't have strong opinions on Melu. I do think it's cute how she calls everyone her minions, though, and signs all of her letters of, like, go forth my servants or whatever. That's cute, I like it. But I wasn't as attached to her as some of the other characters because you don't get as much screen time with her. Aside from those funny comedic moments, she's mostly just there to serve as, like, a straight man to like, oh, what are all these time shenanigans that are happening? I don't know. This is weird. Go do work, servants. Like, she just does that role. Whereas everyone else knows all about the stuff until postscript, and then suddenly she remembers everything, and then she has insight into the time shenanigans that have been going on, right? The game was extremely fun to play from start to finish, which is the most important part. And the different types of weapons felt different from one another. Like dagger feels very different from sword, which feels different from spear, which feels different from two-handed hammer. And I had a lot of fun with all the different weapon types. Even if I did settle into some patterns where I relied on hammer, relied on shield, and doing those guards and stuff. The game was at its best when I was doing the super challenging god fights in the middle of the first main game, right? By the time we figured out how to make the possession buffs were 50% of our total stats and made the game entirely too easy, it did suffer for that, because the encounters are so well designed. All the different things that you need to navigate, all the different attack patterns, knowing when and how to guard, knowing when you can get a heal in, that's when the game is at its best. And I definitely robbed myself of that experience in the end game. Those final bosses, yeah, it's funny that we beat them in 20 seconds with a super jacked attack stat of 7200. That's satisfying in the Disgaea way of let's do 8 billion damage, but I do think that it was a shame that I didn't see how well designed the fights actually were. Because a lot of the early and mid-game boss fights were really, really good. And it felt really satisfying when we beat them fairly and not just through having a gigantic attack stat that just floors anything in 10 seconds. But that's something I did to myself. That's not really a critique of the game. It's cool that the game lets you do that. I had complete and total agency over that. It was two competing interests. There's the side that wanted to see what the fights does, and then there's the fights like, let's break this game wide open. It's gonna let me do it, so I'm gonna do it. And I cannot resist that. If a game lets me break it, if it gives me the power to get busted broken stats, if it lets me farm super crazy equipment, I'm going to use it. I will use anything the game lets me have. It's just how I'm wired. And I think it's fine in the postscript to feel that way too, because it also feels earned, right? Because you went through the main game and you did stuff the intended way. Absolutely just destroying everything in your save, everyone's speedrun feels good too, even if it doesn't feel good in the same way that overcoming a challenging boss fight does. They both feel good, they're both satisfying, just for different reasons. And that's definitely a strength of the game. I can't think of much else that lets you do that kind of thing without it kind of going like in the Disgaea direction of like everything's inflated on purpose. I guess if you farm the really, really crazy good equipment in Symphony of Night, that's kind of a good analog for it. If you've got your like Christogram and stuff by the end of that, that's kind of the same feeling that you have in this when you're super busted. Or use the shield rod the entire game in Symphony, like that kind of thing. I think that's definitely a fair comparison. Feels very similar to me. And again, that's like something you have complete control over. I still think the whole Shiro's earrings thing is a little silly. I know that was something that I kind of complained about earlier on. It's fine because they had plans for it. Okay, they introduced the earrings so that other people could wear them to like sneak into places. But if she's doing this regularly, she shouldn't have such a weakness in this thing that she relies on. Also, it dampens her magical power in the first place. It's just kind of weird, right? But it's also something that I completely accepted by the end. So even though it's like, this is silly and weird, like by the end, it's like, yeah, this is a thing. I can't argue with it. This is just what she does. What else? I do think the game does a good job with its comedic moments. Like, obviously you have the typical anime vibes, everything's kind of a little perverted. We'll have Gal make the silly comments and grope himself when he's masquerading as Shiro. We have the crotch boss, all that stuff. Like, that's fine. That's certainly a popular form of humor. I don't hate it. I've just accepted at this point that a lot of Japanese stuff is just horny AF, right? But I don't think it goes too far. And some of the other, like, horny moments are also very funny. Like when you're in the future and Nagumo's like, "Welcome to my lair," and it just plays this, like, joke on you, or like, hey, he's a traitor, he's turning on you, but no, he's just this silly guy that's trying to make the most of this moment where everything sucks, so why not make a joke out of it? Like, that's funny. I like it. I like him in general, and it does it like a second time too, and it's just as good the second time. And then you have the third beat in the postscript where he tries it one more time to make it like the rule of threes or whatever. But 2 in the main game, 1 in the post game. I liked that a lot. And even some things that aren't supposed to be like laugh out loud funny, like when you're in the future and you see the screen, like your character's reaction to it is like, this giant person, like this giant flat person is rambling about things that don't make any sense. I thought that was funny. So yeah, it does a good job of balancing tone. It's not too far in any direction. So that's another example of scales that it's balancing, I guess. It's definitely got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of humor. It's extremely fun to play. All in all, just like solid 9 out of 10 game. It's hard to do better than this. Like, I can critique like certain writing things that I didn't like, but it's not actually a flaw with the game. There's like some examples of, like, I want more of this, but it doesn't really dampen your enjoyment that it's not there. It just would have been nice to have. Yeah, super small nitpicks is really all that there is. There's no glaring issue that I would like light up in neon and say fix this and the game would be perfect. It's just like teeny tiny things that would be nice if they were different. Being available earlier would have certainly helped in some of my early game criticisms, where I was accidentally shield bashing forward and falling off platforms in the arena and stuff like that. Yeah, I've removed a lot of items from the hotbar too. It's really unfortunate because the button you press to remove the items is the same button you press for the possessions, right? So if you accidentally hit the wrong button, like, oh, I'm trying to use an item, but I want to use a possession skill, then you're removing the item that you were trying to use too. Visual clarity, yeah. Like, in the in-game boss fights, especially when you're like making a bunch of different projectiles and doing sword energy, and then the bosses are doing like 500 bullets. The game certainly suffers at that point. I completely agree there. And sometimes the bosses are also like so big that they are the bright background too. Like Geist has the multicolored wings, and then those, like the final boss with the like holding the staff and the sword or whatever. Like she's really bright colored on a dark background, but her projectiles are like white and purple. So you have that same issue there. There was one other early game nitpick I had that I can't remember off the top of my head now. Oh yeah, the thing where I was entering doors when I was not trying to enter doors. Like, that was completely a result of me changing the control scheme, but at the same time, the default controls were not what I wanted. So it did take a little bit to, like, get controls that I could accept that also didn't make me do dumb shit by accident. But that was like 2 streams worth of trouble, and then after that everything was fine. But that's like a whole other kettle of fish, right? Like, oh, I don't like confirm on circle, I want confirm on X, like that kind of thing. That's just, what are you used to? And then you have like confirm, jump, interact, search, all these different things that you might want on the same position because you're used to like all these things being in the same spot, but it just gives you trouble because in this game you don't want to use interact in front of a door unless you like specifically want to go through that door. And if that's also your jump button, then you're kind of ruining everything. One interesting thing about the combat was just like how powerful guarding is in this game. In a lot of games, like, your most powerful tool is some sort of like dodge roll, right? In this game, like, you just put your shield up and you can block everything for days. And the response window for doing that, like, you could just hold the button and block stuff. There's a lot of games that just would not let you do something like that. You would need to do like parry timing. And you have like the just guard mechanic in this where if you do block something with parry timing, you get little rewards for it, right? But you have a lot of agency in combat, even when there is bullet spam going on, provided you're not in the, like, the visual clarity problem of that, where there's just so much going on that you can't see shit. But like when you can actually see and you're trying to like block attacks, the game gives you a lot of control in that department, which is something that I appreciate. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, parry bad, dodge bad, guard definitely good, but like, it's nice that there's this example of like a combat system that is so reliant on guard, that does it in a way that feels good. Because you can't guard everything forever because your guard gauge will deplete, your shield will break. But you've got a lot of answers for that. Possession skills giving you immunity, also kind of crazy. And you can put a cheap possession skill on and spam like that cheap skill to just chain invulnerability over and over again if that's how you want to play. And you can do that with like the berserk skill and really completely melt things. And that's a perfectly valid way to play. Granted, we went for the whole like super expensive possession skills to get godly buffs things, so there was no way we could do that. Every possession skill we would ever cast would completely empty our stamina gauge, but it's definitely something we could have done. It's something we did a little bit of in the early game. But the biggest highlight for me is still fighting the super boss guys early. Like, hey, you can go do this whenever you want. And you can choose which chapter you think you're strong enough to actually do it. Go enter the painting and have fun. Go fight Mr. Sit on his throne and throw swords at you. And the answers to all those god fights are kind of different from one another. They want different things from you. One's a damage race. One is kind of like, how well can you navigate these like bullet patterns where it's not like full on bullet hell, but there's kind of like a dance you're doing with the pumpkin lady, right? And then you have to pay attention to some of the attacks that she does so that you don't kill yourself with the recoil damage. Like spot the decoy. Once I learned, like, oh, the correct one fires the bigger projectiles, and I wasn't killing myself anymore, that was a good fight. Beatrice being like, bullet spam, figure it out. She was kind of the hardest to me. But not in a way that was overwhelming or like, I can't possibly do this. I had to do her later than we could have. Like, we had the opportunity to do her a chapter or two before I finally got the win, but I still think that was a pretty good fight. Introducing the different bullet types that you can't block, and the whole like platforms that shield you from the rain bullets that fall from the sky. I think it does some interesting stuff that I guess is your first exposure to those things. It's not the most intuitive thing, but I think like we learned at a pretty decent pace. Like we didn't sit there and struggle. We got it pretty quickly once we learned what the different things did. And then Alchemise's kill you attack is the cheapest thing in the game. It doesn't teach you that in a way that you can actually learn. I had to get that through external knowledge. But once I knew what the game expected of me, having an attack that you take before an attack that you have to block, that's interesting. I just wish there was some way the game communicated that to you without having to seek the answer outside of the game itself. Be it chat telling you, looking up a guide or whatever. Because I would have sat there for weeks trying to figure out how that attack actually worked, or that pair of attacks. It just was not clicking in my head that blocking the big attack was completely destroying my shield gauge, and then the next attack is the one you have to guard. But once we knew that, like, we were golden. As far as like status ailments go, I hate being petrified, but I don't know if I would call petrify unfair. Because it's a status that you can prevent by just preemptively using the item. I just never did. So technically every time I got petrified, it was my fault, I guess, but I don't know. Bleed keeping you from using items other than instant whatever, like the hemostatic bleed cure item, was extremely annoying. I hated it every time. And then poison is just like, all right, here's the timer. But then you could cheat poison. Because if you go mine something, then poison gets cured for some reason. The children yearn for the mines. Your immune system loves to go hunt for ore. Yeah, I can see like random bleed being the absolute bane of Berserk strats. Because there's so many enemies where it's not even their hits that make you bleed. It's just if you cross over a certain part of the enemy's hitbox, you just get the status. So like say you're trying to dodge through the enemy or something and you mistime something, you're a little bit lower or a little bit higher than you think you are. Like that's the run, I guess. You gotta go do it over. Granted, you can set up scales so that you have like bleed resist and all that. So the player has some agency in how they want to handle some of these status ailments. So I think that's like a good thing. But as far as the way that we use the scales, like we just did big number and just left it alone, right? Maybe there was something more interesting that we could have been led to do with the scales, but at a certain point, you just set it up and never thought about it again. Yeah, that's true, because like if you had all of it stacked up, I noticed at the end like I was getting bleed and it was going for like one tick and then ending, but one tick is all it takes. I didn't know whether you could completely prevent it or not. I guess that's something I should have made sure of before I like made a comment about it. I guess, like, if you get it to 100, does it fully prevent it? Because I don't think I ever got anything to 100. But I know we had like 1 or 2 tick bleeds. Paralysis wasn't lasting very long. But I didn't have any petrification resist, so we were still sitting there like shaking the controller for 8 minutes every time we got petrified. But yeah, the only time I really like interacted with the scales, like, okay, got new pan, and then I was back in town. Like, I would never in the middle of a dungeon change my scale setup, not even like right before a boss or whatever. That was just like, let's go handle and worry about that later, which is probably like maybe a mild criticism you could levy against the game. But it's like so involved. It's not the sort of thing you want to do on the fly, right? Because you have to keep track of all these different numbers, balance everything out. If you're trying to get something very specific, you can sit there and mess with scales for an hour. So like the second you get a new scale pan is not always the best time to change your scale setup. And maybe that's a shame. Like, maybe you should get one and be like, hell yeah, let's like do this immediately, but that's just not how it works in reality. But I do think it was interesting to try to get the numbers completely in the center so you get the full benefit of your buffs, but I never once did anything other than perfectly centered. So I don't even know how bad like the 90-10 or whatever would have been. I'm assuming it's like you only get 90% of these buffs, so maybe it would have been fine, but I always put the time in to get it like perfectly balanced. Which I guess is part of why I never wanted to do it on the fly. It was just always in town after the fact. Or between streams even. But even there at the end, when you get to the ability to enhance the pans, I did like 3 stats, right? Because my character was so damn heavy that I couldn't bear without... or do without having the weight reduction in blue. And that was the only real reason I had to even do any of that stuff. But that's just me, I guess. Like, I don't know how much of like scales boring or how much of it is just like we got so busted that I didn't feel the need to interact with the scales more. Because it's definitely something that has some impact, but I just kind of wish I had more reason to play with it, I guess, instead of just set it once and forget it. As far as pacing of some of the challenge achievements goes, we got a lot of them when we were doing the in-game farming with your friends. So I think that's a good place to have gotten it. I don't think the game asked too much of you. The only one I wouldn't have gotten without getting specific equipment was the Force one. We would have been like 50k shy of that one. So maybe if it was 600k instead of 650k, that would have lined up a lot better for most people. Not even close to the step count though, because being able to jump and air dash just makes it so you spend no time on the ground. I think maybe it should have been able to track horizontal distance traveled, whether you were in the air or on the ground. But that's just such a nothing burger. That's not even a real criticism. That's just like the tiniest nitpick ever. Oh no, I didn't get this one achievement because I jumped too much. And now I get to go hold the controller and press right into a wall for half an hour or whatever. It's nothing. It's just one of those it would have been nice things, I guess. But yeah, definitely looking forward to playing Gaiden next stream. I did really enjoy this game. It's great. I don't think I have anything else to say about it other than I loved it. I'm glad it was recommended to me. It was extremely fun. Should we ever get a sequel, I will definitely play it. Oh, the OST. I mean, you're always doing hit or miss stuff if you're getting random tracks from the internet, right? But I feel like a lot of the assets that were grabbed from those collections worked really well. Like, I don't know how much of the art was grabbed from stuff too, but like there was certainly some cohesion, especially like for the fantasy specific backgrounds, that was really good. Everything looked like this could be in the same world. You get like the big difference in tracks where you have like the volcano track that sounds like it could have been in like Xenoblade or whatever, and some of the other stuff's more like laid back. And you've got Vocaloid tracks in the future, but none of it stood out as like, oh, this is so out of place, look how weird this music is. I think everything suited the area that it was in. My only nitpick with the music is that there's one track that plays in the future that will give you a copyright hit if you export your VOD to YouTube. And it's like an alt version of one of the songs. Like the regular version's fine, but the alt version's bad, I think. But my VODs aren't monetized anyway, so it's fine. But I think it was only one song out of the entire game that popped up. So even the Vocaloid stuff didn't trip anything. But I would still say like Volcano was probably my favorite area music. Going to see your Mokyun friend to get your new equipment, you can just feel the vibes in his little house. It's a good tune. I liked the Vocaloid stuff in the future. Yeah, the paintings music, like we sat there and enjoyed that one for a while. I mean, it's a strange place. Why not have some music that's a little bit different in there too? It's definitely unpredictable. And the painting's such a trip anyway, because that's probably the first like fancy in-game-ish dungeon you'll get access to. Like there's the place in the volcano, but I think you have the access to the museum first. So you go in there, you got hip hop playing, you run to the right, and a pumpkin shoots you and one-shots you. What an experience. It's like running up on a Deathclaw in Fallout or something. And it's accompanied by just the craziest music you've never heard in this game before. And yet none of it sticks out as bad. Like that was a great moment. A great moment in a game full of great moments. I think that is going to do it for me for tonight. Great game. I'm really glad it was recommended to me. Please be more in the future. Gaiden next stream. We will see Poland shine and get to have the full story on this baker's daughter who is so elusive and yet so strong. She can tank an absolute army of demons while we stand there casting spells to support her, just barely off screen. It's great. Now we'll finally know her deal. I'm out of here. Till next time, take it easy.